Hey there, we are live. Welcome to the DFS Build NBA Edition. I am Kevin, and that is Taylor. Hopefully, the internet isn't too choppy for us, but it probably will be. That said, our goal is to help you win. If we do anything here that helps you, hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel. If you want to come in and join our Discord for free, you can do that. You can take advantage of our premium picks at dfsbuild.com. Just $5.99 a month for everything that we offer. But yeah, so let's get to a 4-game slate. Not a ton to go over, except for the fact that LaMelo Ball is already ruled out. If you're looking at the FanDuel slate, which, by the way, DraftKings, what are you doing? It's only 4 games. We have a 6-game slate tonight. But over on FanDuel, you do get the 6 games. Jimmy Butler downgraded to questionable, so that's substantial. This is mostly a DraftKings show, but we'll try to point out stuff like that as we can. Here we go. Bucks and Raptors. Giannis is probable, but Milwaukee did play last night. So would you be that shocked if Giannis was randomly scratched?
No, because we've seen it once already where he was probable and then he got scratched. So at least it's the first game of the night, so we will have the news in time. They're playing at Toronto. They did have a close game last night on the road, I think, in Indiana. So anything can happen. He's probable. I'm assuming he's going to play as of now, but don't really have to worry about it unless he gets scratched after the game starts, which I don't think is all that likely. So on this slate, obviously he's the top overall play by a huge margin. Like there's no Jokic, there's no Luka, there's no any of that. So at 11.5, I think you can argue he's a little bit too cheap, and Toronto is not good defensively. So fine play. I will have plenty of him if he's in. But as of now, I'm not actually matching the field. I have about 30%, and I see his ownership a little higher than that. So good play, not a must play with all the mid-range stuff we have on the slate.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Raptors, so it's certainly a good spot. It's Giannis. He's in full MVP mode, even though nobody wants to vote for him ever again because of voter fatigue. He's been crushing it pretty much every game. He's right around 60 fantasy points pretty much no matter what. So if the slate kind of demands it, like I don't have a problem getting to him. The only issue is I am personally a little bit worried because we've already seen it happen, and I kind of predicted it that one night that it happened. Now I'm worried again. It's back-to-back.
It happened before the game. So
true. Well, we got lucky. We got lucky because it was actually after the slate locked, but it was before the Giannis game actually locked. So it was like an hour before their game. But still, we have seen it, by the way, where Doc scratched him after the game started, like a minute after, because he has back flare-ups and stuff. Anyways, I don't want to get too cute with it. I'm just saying that there is that. That said, if Giannis was to be randomly ruled out, who are we looking at? Because you talked about in Discord how Bobby Portis is mostly just getting the backup 5 minutes behind Miles Turner. I did not know that because obviously historically he just plays a lot of the 4 when Giannis is out. So why don't you let everybody know exactly what we need to consider if Giannis is indeed ruled out before lock?
Yeah, so we saw Kuz start in that scenario last week. You've seen Portis start there before. Most of that was pre-Kuzma. So it is a different roster. They have Miles Turner now, essentially a like-for-like switch with Brook Lopez, but so far they've been playing Portis almost exclusively without Turner. I think they have 6 minutes of overlap all season. And Portis is 5'9". Like he's not. I think he was 5'1" the other day. So it's like, yeah, even if he has a normal Bobby Portis game in like 23 minutes off the bench, it's like I still think he can get there. There's a chance he gets really steamed up from an ownership standpoint if Giannis is out, and he may just not be worth it. Like his role may not change all that much. So I think he's playable. I just don't think he's the smash that he's been in previous years without Giannis.
Okay. Do you think you need to make a decision between him or Miles, though, if that is the case?
Yeah, I think I probably wouldn't want to play them together if they are negatively correlated, essentially. Like if Portis is out there, for the most part, Turner is not, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So, Turner 6'2", Portis is 5'9". I think the other day it was like 5'1" Portis, 5'7" Turner. So it's tougher to justify playing them together at these salaries if they are backing up each other. So I think they're viable. They would both look better without Giannis. I'm just not sure either of them is like a really like true smash play in that scenario.
Yeah, so whether or not Giannis is randomly ruled out, obviously he's probable, so we should try to look at the slate as if he's in. I still like Ryan Rollins. 6'1" is not that expensive for a guy who does have a big role. Kind of disappointed. Yesterday was only 26 fantasy points, but it's not like that was a death sentence. Like I still easily cashed with Rollins as in all my lineups. But I still like him. It's a good matchup for him as well. The price is coming up, but he still looks really good. What do you think?
Yeah, he's still a good play. 6,100. We've talked about the role without Kevin Porter. And obviously Dame is gone. And Toronto, like we've said, is just not a good defense. So getting to him a decent amount. I do have a lot of guards that are kind of interchangeable. AJ Green is there. Cole Anthony is there. Gary Trent is there playing forward, I guess, small forward for this team. So they do have a lot of kind of interchangeable little guards. Rollins is still the clear lead point guard, but we did see minutes come down a little bit last night. I think Cole Anthony had a good game at the bench, so there is some risk, especially now that he's getting more expensive. But it's a small slate. It's a good matchup. I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah. Anybody else on Milwaukee's side that you're interested in? That's pretty much it for me. Like Giannis obviously is great, and the Rollins. And then if Giannis is out, we obviously can look at pretty much any buck. But I'm not really feeling. I guess Gary Trent. Is this a revenge game? You played for the Raptors.
Yeah, it is. He's been around.
He's played for 6 teams.
He gets a lot of minutes. There's some usage there. He's not shooting well, but historically he is a pretty good shooter. So I think there's a little more upside than we've seen. If Giannis is out, he'll look a lot better, obviously. Again, I don't think Giannis is out, so we're kind of talking this through for what may not be the most likely scenario, but you never know.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of it. Kuzma, even without Giannis the other day, was pretty horrible. I feel like he's forgotten how to play basketball at all. He's playable, though, at 5'7". If he starts, you've seen him score before. We know he's capable of doing it, or at least he used to be. And it is Toronto. So Kuzma at 5'7", assuming he would start for Giannis, I think is a better play than Portis at 5'9" off the bench.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, so on the other side of the Raptors, this game does have a really high total. Raptors are only 3-point favorites, 237.5 total. I think it's the highest of the slate. If not, no, it's not the highest, but it's close. It's honestly 4 games with 4 really good totals and tight spreads. It's tough to really differentiate here. That said, the Raptors are just one of those teams, every time they're super healthy, it's who do we actually want to play here? You got Scotty Barnes, you got Quickly, you got Ingram, you got Barrett. All those guys in a vacuum look really good. I guess dollar for dollar, Scotty Barnes looks the best because he's not that much more money than Ingram. And if you look in that 8K range, he just looks like a better play than Jalen Johnson and some of the other guys that are going to be there. It's not a good matchup though. They are at home and it is a good total. But the Bucks are good in transition. They're good inside. They're going to have to shoot pretty well if they're going to have a lot of success. And then of course you have to figure out which one of these Raptors is going to nuke. One of them will, I think. But which one, I don't know. My lean would be Scotty.
Yeah, Scotty's going to be the best overall option here pretty much every night. The role is huge. He leads the team in usage. He's rebounding. He's just heavily involved. Obviously, it's a lot of mouths to feed. So at 8-2, we're not getting a discount here. We're not really getting a discount on anyone. I think Quickly is the one who will pop a lot in projections. Okay. He's been quite awful. The usage has been low for him. Under 10 shot attempts in 3 of the last 4 games. So if he's not getting usage, I don't really see the upside there. And obviously the floor is quite low.
Right.
They're all very strict positionally as well, power forward Scotty Barnes, point guard Quickly, small forward Ingram, shooting guard Barrett. You can play all these guys in tournaments every single night. I think Ingram's kind of interesting here. He's been pretty steady overall. Usage is always going to be there for Ingram. So 7-3, I think that's a reasonable mid-range price tag on him. Is Jakob Poeltl questionable? He's missed the last couple of games.
Yes, he is. By the way, Ingram is a nice price, but that small forward position is horrendous. It's him and Franz Wagner, and then nothing else looks good because DK continues to do this weird no positional flexibility thing. You should definitely get a Trey Murphy at small forward or something. Nope, that's not happening. So it's Wagner and Ingram do look good relative to the slate, but it just feels like shooting guard and small forward. If you can, that's where I want to save my money.
Yeah, and if people are going to go away from Ingram because of that, I think he's a pretty strong play.
Sure.
If Pirtle is out, we'll see Colin Murray-Boyle start again. We should see Sandro off the bench. CMB sucked 2 games ago as chalk. Sandro went off the
last
bench.
game. Yep.
And then in the last game, Colin Murray-Boyles got there and Sandro did not. So you can play the ownership game there. Like if one of them's more chalky than the other, it's almost always going to be the starter. Playing the backup's viable. CMB is getting more expensive, but he is power forward center. So some meat on the bone there if Pirtle is out again. Pirtle's probably limited, so 6'2 is probably too much for me on this slate. It's kind of just the main 4 guys and then the potential value if Pirtle's out.
Yeah, like it is not a slate with a lot of value. So if you want to play Murray Boyle or Mamu, like you can do that. Maybe I'll do that. I just don't think it's something I'm super comfortable with unless I'm playing Giannis. If I'm playing Giannis, then I'll take some dives and just hope Giannis gets me like 70 plus, and then it kind of will negate that to a certain degree. But yeah, I think we're kind of on the same page when it comes to the Raptors. They are good plays, but it's hard to kind of like pinpoint anybody beyond Barnes. All right, next we got Philly at the United Center against the Bulls. Obviously, the Bulls are a pretty fun team here. They this game as a whole, I think it's the highest total, 239.5 total, 1 point spread. Joel Embiid is back. So a lot to like here. So on the Philly side, Maxey obviously has the best projection, pushing for 50 fantasy points and almost 10K. I'm not really that into him with Embiid there. And plus they got Quentin Grimes. They're getting back McCain. Not sure what his role is going to be. I just feel like it's kind of like the Raptors situation a little bit. Like Maxey is going to take up most of the usage and Embiid is going to be a high usage guy. But I do think there is, to some degree, there's going to be these guys cutting into each other a little bit. That said, if you want to play Maxey, that's fine. I think you could take a shot on Embiid at 7-6. If he's going to play 25 plus minutes, you can take a shot on him in GPPs. VJ is too expensive. Oubre's okay at 6-1, but I don't know. I don't love it, really. It is a good game environment, though, for sure.
Yeah, I'm not getting a lot of Philly at all. It's kind of horrifying because it is a good game. Chicago's defense, I don't think, is going to be what it's been so far on the season.
It has been good, though. Like
I know.
decent.
I do not buy it. It's the same team they had last year, essentially, when they were horrible. So I'm assuming they'll regress. You
know what has not changed, though? They are still horrendous inside. So it's certainly even like 25, 27 minutes, Embiid could feast against the 25th ranked interior defense, right? So that's worth noting. Yeah, he's getting cheaper. He still feels a little bit expensive for the limit, but on a small slate, I'm more willing to kind of take that flyer than I would be on a 10 gamer or something like that. Probably not doing it. I'm not doing it much if I do it at all for what it's worth. I'm also not getting the Maxey right now. I would like to change that. Just at 9.9, like he's fully priced, but we've seen the usage is through the roof, even with Embiid. We've seen stealing from him. This game environment is, it should be fantastic. So even with McCain back, I'm sure McCain will be limited. He hasn't played in like a year or so. So he's projected for like only 17 minutes here. I think that's reasonable. So I would like to get to Maxey. The others are expensive though. Like Grimes, his minutes are a little more at risk with McCain back. Oubre's fine, 6,100 though. Like not really a discount. Edgecombe, like you said, is too pricey. We have Watford and Walker here playing power forward, so kind of a deep roster, and it's hard to play any of them with a ton of confidence. I think Maxey is someone worth targeting always, but otherwise my interest is kind of minimal so far. Yeah, I think it's kind of like I think it was even last night when we were looking at like Cade, I don't think really worked out, but he was like 10K, good projection, no ownership. So if there's not going to be ownership on Maxey, he's probably going to get like 50 fantasy points. Is that bad relative to the price? I guess, because, it's a little disappointing, but he's still going to be a very good play. I just don't know if he's actually a ceiling play worth that price at this point. No LaMelo might bump his ownership up a little bit, but the presence of Giannis, like I would rather go get Giannis than pay for Maxey at this point, or I'd rather drop down to somebody on the other side of this game, and that would be Josh Giddey. So the Bulls look really good too. Philly, has been horrendous against the fast break. So in transition, they have not located guys well at all. Dead last against fast break this year. So I think somebody like Josh Giddey can certainly exploit that. He just is a stat stuffer. So at 9-1, he projects about as well. Actually, he projects better than Maxey does. So he's just a better value. And Vooch, his price has come down. He projects really well. I don't love using big men against Embiid, but Embiid's only going to play like about 25 minutes. And Vooch just has a big role and then a great game environment. So they both look amazing. And then you can look at some of the value here. Bazelis, Trey Jones, probably going to stop there. I would keep an eye on Ayo Dosunmu. If he is back, that would cut into Trey Jones a little bit. But if he's out, Trey Jones again at 5.5 looks like pretty good value on this slate.
Yeah, I'm kind of alarmed at how much Trey Jones is popping.
He's in a lot of lineups. I had to cut down his ownership. It's too much.
Yeah, like optimizers are really pushing Chicago in general. Like
sure.
Right here you can see like running 150 lineups. 84% have Trey Jones, 66 have Vooch, almost 20 have Giddey, 56 have Ayo Dosunmu, 11% have Pat Williams. Like, these guys are going to be in a lot of lineups. Even more so if Ayo's out, I assume. And I think I'm going to make some rules just to, because people are going to play the Bulls, but they're not really going to play the Sixers, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
So I think creating rules, it's like if I have 3 Bulls, force, Maxey or whoever, whichever Sixer you want to be into those lineups. I think that's an interesting way to build because the game does have a high total and a really tight spread. So if these Bulls are going to nuke their value, you're probably going to bring a Sixer along the way. So something I would do for sure. I am getting a lot more Chicago. I don't have really any issue with it. They're all just too cheap. It's a good spot. Even Jalen Smith, 3,200 center only, like not a comfortable play and under 20 minutes off the bench, but he's had a pretty, he's always been a good per minute guy, and the role is okay enough, and he's cheap enough to where it's, viable, even if it feels gross. Not really much to add. Bazelis, strong play, under 6K once again. Love Giddey, love Vooch. I don't really have much to add. Like, they're just too cheap. Herter will look better if Ayo is out as well.
I feel like I would certainly rather go 400 more and get to Bazelis than to pay for 35% owned Trey Jones. Like right away, like I do think it's just one of those situations where like I do agree Trey Jones is a good value. And I think he's a good play. But if he's going to be mega owned, kind of like how you were talking about Quentin Jackson last night, and you were absolutely right, I will take a chance on Trey Jones. Oh, well, hey, right is right. But I will take a chance on Trey Jones not completely, burying me at 5.5K. The other thing is, like, Philadelphia so far has not been a very tough matchup. 20th in points allowed. I already said about the fast break. And they also run at the 9th fastest pace too. So like they are going to score a lot of points. So the Bulls kind of have to by default. So I'm not afraid to play in the Bulls. I do think though, if that is where the ownership is going to be, like I don't mind eating chalky Giddey or Vooch at all. But I do mind eating super chalky Trey Jones a little bit.
I think Ayo, if he's in, is just probably a better player than Trey Jones, given the ownership. He's guard forward eligible.
Well, would he be limited at all?
I think he only missed like 1 game. So
okay. Well, then, yeah, I agree with that then.
Yeah, he's 1,100 less. He's got better position eligibility. He could be more owned than I think as a result of that. But if Trey Jones winds up being chalk and Ayo is less owned, then that's just a very easy play to make.
Agreed. All right, so next up we got Hawks hosting the Magic. The Magic play really fast as well. The Hawks
a lot of Eastern Conference. A lot of Eastern Conference going on tonight.
That's true, actually. There's only one Western Conference team in action. Always good. Great basketball to be played with just the East in action. But yeah, Orlando plays fast. They are on the road. They're only 3-point favorites, even with Trae Young out. But, the Hawks are not a very good defensive team, and they also tend to play it fast. It's possible that dips with Trae not there, but still, looks like a really good spot, as is every spot on this slate. Banchero looks pretty good. 44-point fantasy projection. Price came up, but he still looks good for sure. I do think I'd rather go get Scotty Barnes or Jalen Johnson at that position or pay up for Giannis, but it's not like Banchero's a bad play whatsoever. If you want to pay up at small forward, you're looking at Wagner or Brandon Ingram. So if you want to go Wagner, that's okay. I just think Ingram $400 less is the better value. but he's certainly viable. You talk about Desmond Bain being utter ass in Discord. I mean, we don't want to be game log watchers, but at the same time, he does not seem like he fully fits in with this offense yet. Like it's not good. like those are that's a sea of red. We don't want to see that. So that's bad. Wendell Carter is an okay value. You say all the time he doesn't have much of a ceiling, but a Hawks matchup is not that bad. So if I fell on Wendell Carter, that'd be okay. And not really much else I'm looking at here. Like I'm not really excited or racing to go play Magic players, but I think in a vacuum, like if this was a bigger slate, you might have a little bit more interest. I think it's just like there are 4 really good situations to attack, and I'm not really gaga about the Magic, I guess.
Yeah, it's another situation kind of like Philly, where it's a good game environment. They're actually favorites against Atlanta, but they're not getting into a lot of lineups as of now. That might keep their ownership in check, even on a small slate. There's not a lot of value here. Like Banchero at 9.3 is fully priced.
Yep.
Bain's still overpriced. Suggs and Carter maybe a little cheap, but not massive ceilings generally with them. Wagner at 7.7, I guess, is the most appealing point per dollar play, but not cheap either. He's almost 8K against Atlanta. So I do like them though. Like it's the same thing with Chicago and Philly. Like if I'm getting to a lot of Hawks, which I think I will be, I want to try to run it back with Orlando and hope the game is high scoring and close, because it certainly could be. Paolo has the ceiling to be the highest scoring player on the slate. He's been in excellent form all season long, essentially. So I still like that even at 9.3. Like if Giddey's mega owned in that range, and just pivoting over to a guy like Banchero is pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think the easiest Magic guy to click is Wagner, because if you look at last year and like who he's been in the past, like he's kind of at a slight discount. Like we've seen him be over 8K before, and just like the matchup setting, these are the number 2 and number 3 pace teams in the league. So like if that is actually what we see tonight, like this could definitely be the game to stack. I think Banchero's thing is just price. Like he just is not an easy click at 9.3. It's not like he doesn't have a ceiling or a good floor or hasn't been productive. All those things are very true. So it's just like, do you want to prioritize Banchero if he's not going to be owned? Maybe. Like if you're not going to play Giannis, Banchero absolutely should be high on your list of studs to like be overweight on. Because right now, pulling 12% for him, 13% for Wagner, that could be where we get a little bit of an edge here. It just honestly, and I wrote up in the core plays today, I think decision point is just what do you do with Giannis? Are you playing Giannis? If so, I don't know if you're going to comfortably get Banchero. And you're going to have to make a decision because there's Giddey in that same price range. There's other guys too. But with little ownership, he does look appealing.
Yep.
All right, so other side, Hawks, Jalen Johnson, like I said, same position, $700 cheaper, similar projection, similar ceiling, a little bit more owned, but honestly, it's just a very good spot both ways. So Jalen looks awesome with no Trae Young. He gets a usage boost. He's been good. There is Porzingis. The minutes limit makes me not love him, but the price is good for the ceiling he possesses. Dyson Daniels at 6'6" is totally fine. And Naw, I guess, at 5'8" is viable. Luke Kennard, 4.3 Luke Kennard with no Trae. I guess you could do it on this slate just because there isn't a lot of great value. I don't love it. Said Naw's price is coming up to 5'8" for Naw. He is small forward eligible, which I do like. The projection is not bad. So I think he is a decent low mid-range option. But my favorite play here is Jalen Johnson. It just comes down to like, am I going to pick Jalen Johnson over Scotty Barnes, who I think is a better value? I don't know if I'm going to, but he does look good.
Yeah, I think I'd give Johnson the edge. Just the role he has without Trae is pretty insane. He was at like 1.41 DK points per minute last season without Trae Young. We've seen more of the same this year. He's 8,600. I feel like he should be 9K plus already. So he's a fantastic play. I think my favorite play on the slate is Dyson Daniels, 6,600. He can fill that shooting guard spot that we hate. More playmaking for him without Trae Young. He's decently priced. He's typically a better play on FanDuel with the steals and blocks being worth 3, but no issue getting to Dyson Daniels at all. I think he's going to be one of my highest owned players. Alexander Walker, guard forward eligible, 5'8". Minutes have been very secure for him in that starting role. I still think he's a good value at 5,800. I even like a Kongwu. Like we've seen limited Porzingis. We've seen a few more minutes for Kongwu, even off the bench without Trae Young. It's still like under 30 every night, but you know, I think there's ceiling there. I don't think anyone's going to play him. If Porzingis is even remotely owned, I think Okongwu is a pretty good contrarian pivot. I don't know if I can really get there with Kennard. He's cheap. I think he's okay, but obviously wide range
You're
of
getting
outcomes
good
given his
minutes.
reliance on shooting.
Well, I will
the
say
minutes
this.
are okay, like they're shorthanded, so he's okay.
Right. I will say probably largely due to them pushing the pace so much. Orlando is giving up the third most 3-point attempts and the second most 3-point makes per game. Or actually flip that. It's reverse. But the point is they're giving up production from the outside. So Kennard, Dyson Daniels, these guys, they're going to get open looks. And whether they hit them or not remains to be seen. But they could get a boost there just from the matchup alone. Kennard is appealing based off the price, depending on what you want to do. Like, are you going to go full stars and scrubs? Then yeah, Kennard looks pretty good all of a sudden at 4.3. Just definitely pretty risky.
Yeah, there's better value now in Charlotte also.
That's true. All right, moving on to that one. Last game of the DK slate. I'm not going to go over the 2 games for the FanDuel slate. We just mentioned earlier that Jimmy Butler is questionable. So obviously, if he's out, major boost to Steph. Podziemski will probably start. He gets a boost, and Kuminga, like they all look really good. I don't think there's any other news for those games. Although for the Clippers game, they very well could and should rest Harden, and Kawhi is almost a definite rest candidate. All right, so for the Hornets, no LaMelo Ball. Miles Bridges projects well. He looks good. His price did come up, so at 8.3, I don't think you have to play him, but he's definitely a really good play. Colin Sexton, 6.7, projects like a god. So right now he does look like a borderline core play, but the price has come up to almost 7K. So you certainly can fade him if he's going to be super chalky, but they both look great. Kalkbrenner, his price has come up, but he projects really well. I don't know really what to do with him. So because him and like Diabate just kind of like trade good games. Like you just never know. And Diabate is like way cheaper. So if I had to pick a side, I think I would play Musa just because of that. Trey Mann will get a little bit of boost at 4.8. Sion James at 4.1. They're viable because they're cheap. Is it Sion? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So they're viable for sure. Sion's actually been getting more minutes. So I think he looks a little bit better in terms of value. But yeah, I mean, the Pels are a great matchup. It's a great game total, 2-point spread, and all the usage to go around. So feels gross, but Hornets across the board look pretty damn good.
Yeah, it doesn't feel any grosser than anything else in this gross slate, I think.
No. Well, maybe it does feel a little bit grosser, but
there's a lot of, I mean, it's a lot of value. There's a lot of usage gone with LaMelo and Brandon Miller both out. So Sexton didn't really shoot well the other night, but he did have 12 assists. The minute should be secure with a blowout also. So at 6,700, yeah, he's getting expensive, but I think we've seen enough from him over the years to know that he can certainly beat that. So even into ownership, I'm very into that. Knipple, going to see a usage boost without LaMelo. Also pretty secure minutes. We saw him get pretty deep into the blowout the other night. Yeah, 5,500 guard forward. I think that's a pretty good play.
I don't hate it.
The Kalkbrenner Diabate thing, yeah, if one gets super steamed, I assume it would be Kalkbrenner. He's still really cheap for the role he has played on occasion.
Yeah.
But like you said, if Diabate is playing well, they're just going to kind of nuke Kalkbrenner's minutes. So not a safe play if he's going to be way more owned, but he's still cheap, so I don't mind that.
I mean, it's a good spot, especially if Misi and Zion are both out. Who's stopping him, really?
Yeah, he's just reliant on guys giving him the ball because all he's going to do is lay it up from 2 feet away. So
and no LaMelo, that actually might hurt him quite a bit. It's a good point.
Yeah, I think Sexton can do it though. He's so cheap that I'm fine with Kalkbrenner.
Sexton typically just shoots. He's not really like a LaMelo type player.
He did have 12 assists in the last game, so
that is fair. That's not typically what he does, but anyways.
No, but I guess without LaMelo, they need someone to do it. Trey Mann's not going to do it.
That's true.
Bridges, don't mind as a pivot from Jalen Johnson. There's a lot of stuff to like at power forward on the high end. So
yeah,
if he gets a little bit, goes a little bit under the radar, I think he's solid. Sion James is just very low usage, so I don't really trust his path to getting there even as a starter. That's kind of it. Trey Man's viable because he's cheap, but not too fun.
I think like with the power forward situation, I am just going to wait and see what ownership is. And if like we get to a situation where Jalen's like 5% or Miles Bridges hammer is 10% or whatever, like somebody who's really low, that makes it a much easier call for me because they all look good. Like if you're struggling to pick between Banchero and Jalen and Barnes and all these other power forwards, that is a pretty easy way to, to make your lineups different, by the way, but also get a comparable play that has similar upside. All right, on the other side, we got the Pels. Zion is questionable with 2 injuries. That dude is nuts. Obviously, he is a slate breaker if he does play. 9K is about right. His projection is good, and the Hornets are a smash spot. So, like, he's coming in pretty chalky. If he's going to be chalky, that's a little bit scary. I don't really think he's even going to play personally, but obviously, if he plays, he is definitely a guy you want in your player pool. Jeremiah Fears is mega chalk. That's scary. He's going to chuck. He's going to shoot. He's been playing pretty well lately as well. My game log thing won't open up to give you exact specifics, but he has been playing pretty well, and he's only 4.7K. So on a slate that lacks a lot of value, Fears is very appealing. If Zion is in, I'm not really that excited to play Trey Murphy at 6'9", but if Zion is out, he would obviously look really good. We saw this early in the year. He flatlined when he got an expanded role, but of course, he had like many 50-plus fantasy outings when Zion was dead half the year last season. So I don't think we can lean on that too much. I think considering shooting guard's so bad, if Zion is out, Trey Murphy would look really, really good and tough to fade. Misi's questionable, so we could get like Derek Queen in the starting lineup. Kevon Looney is there. Oh, poor Kevon Looney. Sadiq Bey would get a boost at 4-1. Herbert Jones too. So lots to like here. It just really depends on what happens with Zion, I think.
Yeah, I kind of doubt Zion with a Q tag is going to be the chalkiest power.
No, that's weird, right?
It doesn't feel right to me. I think he's an awesome play if he's in. Like 9K for Zion against the Hornets is pretty affordable. So
yeah,
I'm probably not the only one thinking that. I just feel like the Q tag might naturally lower his ownership. We do have Giannis, we have Banchero, we have Johnson, we have Bridges, and Scotty Barnes. Like there's so much to pay for at power forward that I don't think anyone's really going to be mega chalk there. Maybe Giannis just because he's Giannis.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a good play. I agree with Fears being risky chalk, but he is really cheap at 4.7. The ownership should come down with this Charlotte stuff. Like you only have so many guard spots. The Hornets will take up a couple. So he does get usage. He's been starting over Jordan Poole. They sure got sick of the Jordan Poole thing right away.
Yeah.
Don't blame them. No. Herb Jones under 5K. I think that's decent enough. Not a really fun play ever, but we have seen the occasional upside over the years.
If Zion's out, he looks great.
Yeah, I don't know if he's really a usage guy anyway, but
I mean,
yeah,
he'd get a boost.
I think Bay would be the one to get the biggest boost, assuming he would start.
Yeah.
Don't really know what to do with the Queen thing. Like if Misi's out, they still have Looney limited, presumably. If both those guys are out, maybe Queen is viable in that scenario at 3.7. Yeah. Trey Murphy, sure, but not like a core play at all.
Yeah, I think another thing too, especially since all 3 of these games after the 7:30 game, they start a half hour after the slate locks, and they all start at the same time. And you have Jalen Johnson, Banchero, Zion, Miles Bridges, all kind of in a similar price range. That is pretty interesting to kind of start your build with Zion maybe if we don't get that news before lock. And then that gives you an extra 30 minutes to have an edge on the ownership over the field if he does indeed play. Because if we don't have that information for lock, not many people actually are going to want to play questionable Zion going into the second part of the slate locking, right? So I think that is an interesting strategy to deploy the whole late swap thing a little bit. And if Zion is then ruled out, like we have guys we actually really like to turn to. It's not like you're losing to turn from Zion to Banchero. You're not losing anything. He looks great, right? So just if you're going to do it to the point where you're looking at Jalen or Miles as the guy you pivot down from Zion, maybe have a second piece in there so you're not just like eating like almost $1,000 in salary. Like that wouldn't be the end of the world necessarily, but just something to keep in mind. Any other thoughts to wrap up the slate? Any like major stands or any guys that you're looking at that are chalky that you're like, nope, don't want anything to do with that?
I mean, you can't really get that picky on a 4-game slate. Like, I'm going to have a little bit of everybody probably. Like Trey Jones, I will eat that chalk in plenty of lineups. I would prefer not to do that. If playing one lineup, like I might pivot to Dosumu or whoever. Nipple, I think, is a very interesting play as well.
It's a direct pivot, isn't it?
Yeah, but he's not going to be low owned either. I think Dyson Daniels is my favorite play on the slate. I will say he's my plop your nuts down play of the day or whatever.
Drop your nuts play that you remember to implement it this time. That's great. Mine is like a high level. It's going to be Giddey. I just think Giddey is still too cheap at 9.1, and he has an immense ceiling, and it's just one of the best game environments. They're all good game environments, really. But I also think pairing him with he's going to be chalky, and that's fine. But pairing him with like basically an unowned Zion going into the second stage of this slate is pretty interesting. And then just adapt, just be ready to get Zion out of your lineups. And maybe just like don't go Milwaukee, Toronto heavy to keep a little bit more flexibility. It just comes down to, are you going to play Giannis? If you're playing Giannis, it is what it is. You're probably going to want to get a Raptor or two as a comeback from that. But like outside of like Rollins, I just don't think I'm probably going to be that heavy on the first game. And that should help me. That should help create the opportunity for leverage on this slate. All right, that is going to do it for us. Hopefully this helps you out a little bit. If it does, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, come join us in Discord. It's 100% free. And if you want to catch our premium plays, we do NBA, MLB. Well, MLB is out of season, but we do MMA, NBA, and NFL right now. We crushed in NFL last week. So come take advantage of that. Just $5.99 for the entire month for all the plays. You can't beat value like that. But all right, hopefully you win tonight too, and we'll catch you in Discord if you join up over there. Good luck and thanks for watching.